Hey YouTube, how is it going today? Well, due to popular demand, I'm going to be doing a video on Nano Dimensions. Now, I've been putting this video off because I've been waiting for them to get to a little bit more attractive buy point, and they are almost there, and apparently ARK Invest sees it as well because they have been loading the boat lately. So I'm going to get into how much ARK has been buying, and then I want to show you that buy point because that could be an extremely attractive area to pick up some shares. Now, if you're new to my channel, I like to trade actively and long-term invest as well. I put out trading and investing ideas almost every single day, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. I also have a Patreon group, so if you want to see what we are looking at and trading in real time, that link is in the description. Well, the higher growth, lower price stocks are under pressure again, and many stocks like Nano Dimensions are being sold off hard. Now, has anything fundamentally changed with these lower priced stocks since the shares were being bought up 6 to 12 months ago? I would say not much, and in the case of Nano Dimensions, there is a pretty good argument they are in a much better financial situation than they were 12 months ago. Well, ARK Invest, for one, seems to like these prices in Nano Dimensions because they have been buying up shares lately. In fact, they added over 1 million shares recently because on 4/12 they added over 463,000 shares, and then on 4/13 they added another 687,000 shares. All right, so let's jump over to Seeking Alpha now and take a look at their previously mentioned balance sheet. Now, if we go down to their cash and cash equivalents, we can see that the cash and cash equivalents was pretty much non-existent. Back in 2016, 12.4 million, then it went down to 6.1 million, then it went down to 3.8 million, and then it went down, or basically stayed the same at 3.9 million, and then boom, 585 billion now on the balance sheet as of December 2020. So the company took advantage of those higher share prices and raised capital when the getting was good, and that is turning out to be an extremely intelligent decision because now they are in a very strong financial situation. Let's scroll down to their total liabilities. And if we take a look at the total liabilities, it has ballooned all the way up to 22.1 million, but that is much less than 585 million. So as far as liabilities, they don't have much to worry about for quite a while, and all this company needs is some really strong revenue growth. Now, you can make the argument that their revenue growth and their sales are pretty low, but I think they have a very strong and exciting future ahead of them, and apparently so does ARK Invest because they have been buying at these prices. And if sales and revenue start going up, I think these prices are going to be a bargain if we look back in a couple of years because they have definitely shored up their balance sheet, and I think they're in a remarkable situation to take advantage of this growing industry going forward. All right, so let's jump over to my TC2000 charting software and get a look at the current price action. But just as a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. All of this is just my opinion. So please don't make any decisions based on anything expressed in my videos. Please do all of your own research. But that being said, let's get a look at their chart. And as we can see, this thing has been in a pretty steep downtrend since it topped back in early January and then tested that in early February. So it's been in a pretty steep downtrend. This has been pretty painful if you've been a shareholder of the stock. But if we look at this current price action, you can see that the downtrend is starting to dissipate as far as the velocity. So that is a very good sign for the stock potentially turning around. And if we look at this MACD, this moving average convergence divergence, this can let us know when the trends are starting to reverse. As we saw back in February when it looked like it was starting to make a new high, the MACD was starting to roll over. And that is telling you that this trend is getting a little long in the tooth and it could be time to turn around. But if we zoom in to the current price action, we can see that it is dangerously close to actually going positive again as far as the green line goes. You can see when the green line went positive back here in March, had a little bit of a uptrend before it actually rolled over again, but this was in a pretty steep downtrend. So once you get a steep downtrend like this, you can't expect the bounce to be too high before it at least starts to roll over again. I mean, sometimes they end up bottoming in a V-shaped formation like this, and they turn around and take off again. But you usually get a steep pullback. Usually we'll pull back some after a hard decline like this, but this one is just continuing to fade down. Like I said, that MACD fast line, the green line, is threatening to go positive. Now, if I back the chart out a little bit more, I've been watching this stock for several weeks. I've been waiting for this thing to pull back down to this 200 period simple moving average because I have been considering taking not only a trade but possibly a long-term position in the stock. I don't know which one yet. I think I'm definitely going to be buying it if it gets down here to this 200 period simple moving average, but I might just be playing the bounce and, possibly at least hope that it goes below that and before I start accumulating a position for the long term. But I do think that this range right around $6.30 has bounce written all over it. I mean, if we put a line on this chart, not only is it coming up on that 200 period simple moving average, which is always a strong area of support. I mean, we got this support level right here that looks like should offer some pretty decent buying pressure as well. Let me see if I can get this green thing to move here. There we go. As you can see, it offered some buying support when it bounced in early March, and I think it's going to offer some again. Now, when I see an area of support like this, I like to see it come down fast like it did in March so I can get a nice snapback bounce up if I'm definitely going to play it for a swing trade. So the fact that the velocity is starting to slow down kind of tells me that this bounce might not be all that severe, but it could be a decent area of support for the long term. So, I mean, if it does come down into this area, if I was long this stock this whole time, this is definitely an area that I would like to be adding at if I had long-term conviction in the stock. And I have not looked into this stock very deeply. So I know some people out there, absolutely love this stock. They know all the ins and outs about it. And if you have long-term conviction in this stock, I mean, you got to be adding shares when these things pull down to these strong support areas, because if this stock does end up going to $25, $30, $40, $50 in the future, you're going to be sorry if you didn't add towards these big pullbacks, right around these big support areas. But let me get this off the chart real quick. Let me go to the weekly chart. If we get to the weekly chart, we can see it found some resistance up at the 200 period simple moving average. So this yellow line is a very strong area of support and resistance on all time frames. If you don't have that 200 period simple moving average on your chart, you're doing yourself a disservice as far as, even if you're not even a trader, if you just want good areas to be adding when like a stock is pulling back, always put those on your chart because they will offer decent areas to add to positions and to even take some off. Like if you've been riding this position up and you think it's, the trend is getting a little long in the tooth and you want to lighten up and, buy on the pullbacks, these are great areas to be lightening up on your position, because you can always buy back in. There's no law that says once you sell part or all of your position, you can't buy back in, and Cathie Woods and ARK Invest, they're always trading in and out of their high conviction stocks. They take advantage of the volatility, and with these type of growth stocks, there's always a ton of volatility, and they take advantage of it, and you should think about it as well. But if we look at this chart and this blue line is the 50 period simple moving average. You should always have this one on your chart as well. And we can see that Nano Dimensions is coming down towards that 50 period simple moving average on the weekly chart as well. So the other area I was looking at was $6.30. So this area at $5.75 or $5.75-ish area should also offer some decent support. And you also have a support area back from October going through December in the the 595 to 535 range. So I mean, there's several layers of support on this chart that are coming up. So that is one of the reasons I have been watching this stock very closely, because number one, The stock has a lot of potential. Number two, this is coming into some fantastic areas to be either adding to your position or just playing a swing trade. There's so many opportunities coming in Nano Dimensions, probably in the next coming days or weeks. I'm definitely going to be watching this one like a hawk, but I expect some bounces in this area if it gets down to the 630 to about the 575 range-ish. I definitely can see a nice, strong bounce coming from that area.
All right, guys, well, that's all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions about any of these stocks, or if you have any other stocks you want me to take a look at, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, guys, and until next time, take care.